show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house. Well, so much is happening right now. We're going to get into all of it, of course. We got the SEC, we got the Federal Reserve, we got interest rates, we got the Producers Price Index, we've got the oil and the Strait of Hormuz and the war. We've got lots on at the moment. Obviously, we've got a pullback in the market after having a nice little run. So we're going to talk about that too. Interesting times ahead right now. We're obviously going to talk about PRVX. Last night was really rocking up the charts. We're going to check that out, see where that is at the moment, and then we're going to get a look at also the health of Pulse Chain itself and where Pulse Chain is at. So there's lots in store today. Should be a really, really fun show. And yeah, we're going to cover the new SEC market structure. And then all we need now is regulation. So we're going to cover clarity as well. Latest clarity update. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be quite a packed full show. So let's get into it, shall we? Shall we get into it? See what happened to the stock market overnight, and then we're going to kick into the crypto majors, and then, of course, all the stuff happening on Pulse Chain. It's going to be fun. All right, let's do it. On the way in, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. And we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels, the Kryptonite Show, Superman Crypto, Pulse Chain X. So don't forget to smash the subscribe button on the way and hit the bell for future videos. Also, if you're on X, don't forget to hit the follow button at the top. That really helps a lot there. If you want to join Strategy Club, of course, hit the QR code or find the links in the video description. Just over $1 a day to join up. So fantastic value. Get all the inside intel there every day. So very, very cool. We got Kintrons in there. G'day, crew. Good to see you, Kintrons. Welcome to the show. And let's see. So stocks end in the red, apparently. Well, they did after Fed expresses uncertainty over impact of oil shocks, so not unreasonable. Obviously, the longer the time it takes to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, in terms of security, not in terms of military adversaries along the coast, is the longer that will be. Now, think we're still in that kind of early stage of the cleanup, so it's probably still got a week, maybe 2 ahead as well. So we'll see exactly what tactics they use to do that, right? So we're going to keep tabs on that. Dow Jones at the moment down 1.6%, so a pretty big down day, 770 points almost to 46,225. Remember the Dow Jones. Let's look at the monthly here. Actually, we might go to the a month ago we were at 49,662. So we're down, 3,400 points. That's quite a big move down. We got the S&P 500 down 1.3% right now. So we were, high almost 3.5 weeks ago of almost 7,000. So we're down about 320 points. So that's pretty decent as well. Nasdaq at the moment is down 1.4%, 327 points to 22,152. We had a high about 3 weeks ago of 23,150, so we're down 1,000 points on the Nasdaq over that time frame. So I think once we get this, once the oil price gets back to normal, we are going to have quite the rebound, guys, in the stock market and crypto markets as well. We got the dollar at the moment is sitting at almost 100, just below 100 right now, and the VIX is at 25. So a little bit of risk off today, obviously, well, quite a lot actually, but actually I think it sets us up quite nicely. Let's go to the commodities. West Texas at the moment, $98.85, up $3.40, 3.5%. Brent oil though, look at that, $111. That's up pretty high there, up 1%. Now, if we ever get to $150 or plus, you're in trouble, right? You're in trouble if you get that sort of price. This is certainly causing disruptions in oil flows internationally, and those that followed left-wing policies with net zero and all that, they're in the dog box. They're in the dog box. There's a lot of those countries. So if you were focused on a bit of self-production, the US, of course, is sitting largely fine. Also, they've got taps they can turn on like Venezuela and others by lowering the regulation things. So there's certain mechanisms they can do there. Gold at the moment is actually, let's look at the Brent oil price. So we had that spike. Remember that spike back on the 9th of March, $116, 120 actually, I think it was into today. Well, we're heading back. They're not too far away from there, another $10 maybe. Gold at the moment is getting rotated out of. We're at 4,847, down $48. And I did say, profit taking is very important there. Silver is way down there, or down $1. We're to $76. But off the high, I mean, when the high was up here at $96, so it's down about $20. So, taking profits, very important. It's ironic, gold, silver. Well, you know what they say about gold fever, right? Gold fever. Well, we had lots of those happening around the world. Whenever a mine is found, whenever there's gold to be had, everybody come. Boom time, boom time, boom time. Well, it's also true in the commodities that when the prices go up, you think they're going to go up again and again, and suddenly you get all these reports out about supply is constrained and everything is on the upside. It's going to be up forever. $10,000 gold's coming. All that sort of stuff happens very, very quickly. And people don't take profits, and then they rotate and they get fooled out. They roll down the other side, right? So just interesting stuff there. If you're up a lot, you should be taking profits. Silver there as well is the same. So I still think they're going to perform reasonable this year, but once again, we do expect some sort of rotation and at least a percentage rotation, and it's important to take some profits while if you're up 3-4x or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of it with the commodities. Let's go over to the Federal Reserve meeting. So we had that earlier this morning. So US stocks slumped on Wednesday after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell expressed great uncertainty over the effects of surging oil prices due to the Middle East conflict on inflation and the economy. So obviously affecting prices, fundamental flows actually as well, and also GDP, right? So it will, the longer it goes for, the bigger the impact it has, right, on all these things. So very important there that the shorter it is, the better. So the quicker that the United States get control over the strait and allows oil flows, the better. Now there obviously have been some ships going through, but of course a lot of those have actually been ironically Iranian for Chinese supply probably. So we need to get control of that. They've got the Fifth Fleet, which I understand is trained for that to take it over. So they're probably in that process every single day. So they're 24 hours a day. Those aircraft carrier fleets will be trying to shut that down, the whole place down. But they got to remember they got all that Iranian coast to do. Also that little Strait of Hormuz is about 21 miles or 10 miles, something like that. And so they've got to control that, plus the Crag Island. I think it's called the Crag Island, yeah. So we'll see whether we get a marine land invasion on the island as well, because that is the money tap for Iran. So lots of interesting things happening there. We just don't know, Powell told reporters. Markets had earlier been weighed down by hotter than expected producer inflation data. So remember that we had pretty low inflation. We had the PPI, the PPE at 3.1%. We had the CPI at I think it was 2.7%. So we have actually, it's not within that 2% target, but that 2% target's rather arbitrary. I mean, it's on the low side of inflation, so that's generally healthy for its economy. But actually, countries like New Zealand, which actually gave up that 2% target originally, now have a band of 1 to 3%. And so, it's at the top end of that band. But that was relatively low, but we got the federal funds rate at 3.75, which is 75 basis points higher than even the PPE data there for inflation, which is quite a large index of commodities there for price inflation. And so producer price inflation is obviously from the sort of the factory prices, and this is kind of a leading indicator for consumer retail prices, assuming that these companies pass these prices on, right? So it's the case there, rather than absorb it. And so it's a leading indication. So it was a negative. So we had really positive things, I think, for a rate cut. As you guys know, I've been pretty keen on a rate cut towards 1-to-1, so getting that federal funds rate down from 3.75 down to at least 3%, if not 3.1, what the PPE data is. And and we also had weak employment. Remember the previous month we had lost 75,000 jobs in the United States. Well, producer price inflation is the opposite. So it's actually going against that argument because it's another one that could be a lead indicator of future inflation, but not necessarily if they don't pass it on. So that's kind of the play there. We also had the spike in oil prices, also inflationary. And maybe not so much for, well, at least, for the globe at least. So that's the oil price there. And of course, we saw a spike in oil due to the attack on the world's largest natural gas field in Iran, which is probably the Israelis doing that. So there we go. They seem to be wanting to cut off the money earlier than the Americans. Americans are trying to hold off on all that because they want the Iranian people to, hopefully take over at some stage and allow that to rebuild the Iranian economy in a modern way. So that's kind of some of the plays happening at the moment. Wall Street's main averages rebounded on Monday, so that was kind of it. So that was the Fed. So the Fed decision, so the Federal Open Market Committee, or the FOMC, on Wednesday held the federal funds rate steady at 3.5 to 3.75, so no change. And that was what the market expected, as you guys know. The implications of the events in the Middle East for the US economy are uncertain. In the near term, higher energy prices will push up over inflation. So it's not so much supply that's the issue for America because they produce so much themselves, but actually just the global oil prices there. But it's too soon to know the scope and duration of potential effects on the economy. And remember, a lot of companies, a lot of the global companies are out of America. They'll be impacted particularly by prices as well around the world. In the near term, high energy prices will push up overall inflation, but it's too soon to know the scope and duration of the potential effects on the economy. So I agree with that. The FOMC separately published an updated summary of economic projections, SEPs. Remember, they don't do this every meeting. I think it's every second meeting approximately, where they give an updated economic forecast outlook. And this is the market takes this really even more important. Obviously, the market expected a no change in interest rates. But here, of course, we've got an outward-looking statement. This is probably more important. So they continued this SEP forecast economic projections continue to show expectations for at least one rate cut this year. So that's still on the cards, and one in 2027. But obviously, we're looking, hopefully, getting a new chair in, and we'll get more aggressive rate cuts. So there was one of the presidents did want another 25 basis point cut today. And I'm still in that camp, right? So that's the one. Which continue to show expectations. Policymakers also see high real GDP growth in 26, 27, 28. And of course, we're expecting that with the golden age of America from President Trump. $19 trillion invested from President Trump. That is going to play out a lot. Core PCE inflation, the Fed's preferred gauge to monitor prices, is expected to be higher this year and next year than the Fed's previous forecast in December there. So expecting a higher inflation as the Fed. Powell said surging oil prices were going to be a part of the increased inflation forecast. The oil shock for sure shows up. Some of that will be in core as well, but also added that the raised forecast was a reflection of low progress on tariffs, he says. Powell added that policymakers will have to wait and see, and this has been an approach, right? Wait and see in the Middle East and see how long the current situation lasts. Now, obviously, Trump has been looking to fix up a lot of problems that the liberals and the elites in the West have failed to deal with for decades. And for those that have been following that have been completely frustrated. It is fantastic that Trump is finally dealing with these things. We're talking about drug lords in the South Americas, all the way through to terrorist states with nuclear weapons. We're avoiding calamity, folks. And finally, Trump has taken the common sense approach. And it takes a lot of steel to do that. And so, yeah, even though it's a short-term hit on the markets, it actually is going to make for a much safer world overall. At least for a period of time before we get some new, humans are so predictable, some new fascist in the future. Just take note of that. So it's actually a good thing. And so it's, the quicker they can tidy it up, the better. All right, so I would speculate in any way, says Powell. The Fed's decision reinforced a fundamental shift in the economic framework. While rates may remain steady, we are navigating a landscape where inflation persists above target and growth is moderating without breaking. This environment defies the conventional linear markets for the past cycle. Agreed on that one. We are now operating in a dual pressure environment because inflation is not yet fully contained and economic momentum is slowing, and traditional wait for the cut approach is no longer a viable strategy. And I disagree on the economic front. I think we're going to get some good numbers coming up on those, despite the Iranian excursion, let's say. Earlier, before the opening bell, data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics showed the producer price index climbing 0.7%. So that's on the PPI. That's remember the factory kind of prices. And of course, that was in February, largely driven by higher service costs. Economists had expected an increase of only 0.3% on a year-on-year basis. February PPI, or Producers Price Index, rose 3.4%, the highest reading in the year. So that was offsetting the previous narrative that we had to some degree, but yet it still don't know how much that will be passed on through the retail and therefore the CPI PPE, right? So a hot PPI print comes after inline readings for consumer prices and producer prices in February and January, respectively. The data suggests the inflation was already posing a sticky problem before the massive jump in oil prices in March, and that is agreed on that. So there we go. Qatar condemns hit to Iran's gas field. Obviously, I think that was the Israelis there targeting the facilities linked to the Iran's South Par field. So there we go. All right, so we're going to move past the Trump waives the Jones Act to combating surging oil. And that was, I believe, in Venezuela, affecting certain markets, getting more oil out there. And I think that's it. So that's where we're going to go from there. So we've talked about the Federal Reserve. We've talked about interest rates. We've talked about the PPI and inflation. And we talked about oil. So those are some of the key ones there. And let's have a look at where the Fed rate monitor is now for the next meeting of the Fed. And that's 5 weeks and 6 days away, so it's quite a bit of time, April the 29th, and we're expecting no change there. 98% is where we are right now, with 2% of the market actually expecting a 25 basis point rise. And then we got June there, 91% expecting a no change, 7% expecting July, which is when we get a new chair Fed, right? New Fed chair, sorry. We got 81% expecting no change at the moment, 16% expecting a rate cut at the moment. So I would certainly expect a rate cut by then with the new chair. I think that's quite reasonable. And like I say, even we'll wait and see what next month's inflation is. But actually, we still got to get, from my point of view, that 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1 rate, I should say. So if the inflation on the PPE is at 3.1, we're at 3.75. I still think we need, or 3.5 to 3.75. Still think we need to get down at least 50 basis points in that time frame, and that will also, add GDP as well. So how offset the oil prices, impact. It's all lagged, of course, but that will be positive. All right, so that is pretty much that on the economic stuff. We do have stuff around crypto, so let's get to that. So the crypto majors, how do they get on right now? Well, market cap all the way down, 2.2% at 2.5 trillion. That's kind of where we are, but we've got a few comments in the chat before we start reading some of this. So let's get into that. We've got Frank White, bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Good to see Frank White. Welcome to the chat there. We got Eros as well. Welcome to Pulse Gang. We love you. And let's see, what else there we got? Eros says, start accumulating Pulse Gang cores while people chase the shiny new object. Talking about, I guess, PRVX. The leverage players of Hex, Pulse, and PulseX are here. And they're Hexa, PSM, and Blitz. That is from Eros. Liquidity perpetually grows and pays yield just for holding. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that topic right there actually later on. So you picked up a good one today. We're talking about that. Eros says, so too, if you want to be exposed to over 30 DeFi protocols. Man, Eros, you're coming in shilling different projects every day. You got, I'm sure yesterday you came in and shilled all these other different projects. So I don't know. You want people to buy 20 projects? Do you want people to buy 1 or 2 projects? I don't know. Let me know. We got Tam Tam in the house there. Good to see Tam Tam. Hello, my lovely, says Tam Tam. Big shout out to Tam Tam. And Craig Pitt as well. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig. Hope you're doing well. As also a long-time viewer is Craig. So big appreciate the support. What else? We got the market cap, 2.5 trillion. Down 3.2%. Bitcoin right now, 71,139. Actually, I'm going to refresh this because CoinGecko always gets stuck. So we got Bitcoin there at $71,093, down 3.8%. Ethereum at $2,194, down 5.5%. XRP is down 3.4% at $1.46. BNB at number 5 is down 2.5% at $651. Solana at number 7 is down 4.5% at $90. And Tron there is down 1.4% at 30.3, almost 30.4 cents. Number 10 is a Doge, down 4.7%, is 9.5 cents, guys. 9.5 cents for the old Doge. I say Dodge, but it's actually Doge, right? Doge. So there we go. That is the mark. Best performer is, what is the best performer? Tron. Yeah, I guess Tron. Whenever the market's down, Tron's typically the best performer. Best performer over the last week is still Ethereum, though, guys. Up 6.9% for the week. So there we go. Ethereum is still holding up there as well. Best performer in the top 100. We got River popped into there, number 97. So it looks like it's moved to the top 100. That's up 85%, so it could be an interesting one to look at. Siren there up 74%. That's been trending recently, number 86. That's up 88 at 88 cents, up 74%. Artificial super intelligence also had a big move. That's at number 99, up 40% for the week. Main core is up 36% for the week there, $1.93. And finally, Tensor Tower's been a bit of a craze as well, up 34% at $272. So those are the top 5 in the top 100 right now, and it looks like we got a couple of new entrants there with River and Artificial Super Intelligence there moving around there into the top 100, back out again probably. We got total gainers there in top 1,000. We got Strategy Oil Supply, interesting enough, up 109%, so I guess it's around the oil prices. Siren up 19%, and Engine Coin there, up Engine Coin, is it? Engine, up 26% there. Trending overall, we got Nero, Katana, and Pudgy Penguins once again is trending, not surprising. It trends a lot there on the old CoinGecko. So that's the market there. Let's get into the crypto charts here for Bitcoin. This is on Coinbase, and we've got $71,023 right now. Obviously, psychologically, we want to hold 70K. Obviously, we wanted to hold over 72 to 73K. 73 was where the approximately where the 50 EMA is. Well, it's actually 72,769. We're just below that right now. Obviously, that was a very bullish getting over that, and looks like we're gonna have a bit of volatility to get back over, just because of the geopolitics going on and the Federal Reserve we just had, right? So some special events that we just covered before. So obviously trying to get back over that 50-day and keep moving up to the upside there. So interesting little trace here. I suspect we're gonna zigzag a little bit and then power up to the upside there is what I generally expect. But once again, we could be ranging for a little while, at least until May, between maybe 65 and 95. So, we'll probably slowly head up towards that, at least that 200-day moving average, get over that. 87,000 is 200, and maybe the top of the range is 95, something like that. That would get us back to the top of this range, right, our previous one. So that's kind of possibly where we could be for a while with the volatility, with the Iranian war still being, clamped down with the Strait of Hormuz and oil, and so forth. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment on the old Bitcoin. And of course, we want to head towards a golden cross. So there we go. Our little run that we had a pretty good run, right? What's the last time we had a run like this, guys? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, 8 green days on Bitcoin, guys. Woohoo! Pretty good. And then the volatility comes in. So we are in this war era here. So I guess that's the way it goes. We've got all those special events playing out. All right. So one of the things we also haven't had is a strategy from Michael Saylor. With the stretch product, it has not been generating any revenue at the moment to go and buy Bitcoin. They obviously can issue common shares, which is the strategy share, which they're probably doing. I haven't looked at or seen anything on that yet. But the stretch product, the preferred stock, which is attacking the private capital markets with dividends, basically probably 2 to 3x dividends, probably closer to 3x, is below par, right? So the par price is $100, and it needs to go over that with pitches to start. I knew I was going to sneeze there. To start buying up, to start raising money at the market, what they call at the market, ATM. They call it ATM, and therefore they can start buying Bitcoin with it, right? So that is not really happened yet. So we've got today's chart. You can kind of see. Now, I can't remember how long it was the previous time that it had to recover. Had a feeling it might have been maybe up to 2 weeks. But in any case, this will start printing at some stage, I'm sure, within the next week. So there we go. All right. So that is kind of cool. Yeah. Eros, if you could maybe just calm down a little bit on the old shilling in the chat, that'd be appreciated. Thank you. All right. So that's kind of where we are right now. So obviously we keep a lookout for that to give underlying structural support for Bitcoin. But of course, in these violent days, they typically will do their own. There'll be more selling than buying anyway, right? Now, obviously, Strategy also as a company is, as I understand, is still the most shorted company out there, and therefore a short squeeze could be playing. I think there's 2 days to coverage, but that's something else we're going to look forward to potentially in the future. We'll see. So moving from Bitcoin and the biggest digital asset treasury strategy, we have got Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment obviously looking pretty similar to the old Bitcoin chart. We've got in recent last couple of days, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 green days. Amazing, 8 green days, pretty awesome. So we've got 1, 2, 3 down days here, and we've got the current price at 21.92. We've got the 50-day EMA at 22.17 on the old price there, and we've got the what do we got? The 200-day at $2,821. So our next target from that was 2,500, but we've got events happening in the markets around the interest rates and around inflation, around the oil prices. So down we go, and we're at 21.92, but still at the top of the range here, and hopefully that will provide support, right? That's what we would hope for, rather than going back down into this range. So let's see how we get on there. We did also have a big news. We haven't got much more news on a Bitminer mission at the moment. Obviously, that is they are looking to buy around about 61,000 ETH. We know that they're going to do a big buy at some stage. They've got 1.2 billion. There's a couple of things they could be doing though. They're also doing mergers and acquisitions and expansions and all sorts of stuff. But Tom Lee did say that they were going to do a big buy. The 14th was when they expected the bottom of the market to be, right? And we're here now on the 18th, so we're about 4 days past that. And I mean, they weren't too wrong about it, were they? They were pretty accurate with Tom DeMark. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But we could, maybe not today, maybe in the weekend or something, maybe we'll see a big buy. And remember, it's next Monday that we'll get another update around their purchases. So will they be higher than 61,000 by the time we get to next week? There's still quite a few days to go. So we'll keep a lookout for that, because we could see, I mean, if they buy, they have the potential to buy, 500,000 or more ETH, I think it is. Not necessarily saying that they will buy all that much, but they could do, instead of going to 61, they could do another 100,000 buy, and then another 125 or something. That could be something we see, and that's a huge amount of upward, support for the market. So keep a lookout for that. Pretty big deal, but they certainly could get over 5 million. I mean, they're at almost 4.6 million now in ETH, and they're heading towards 6 million. That's about 6,034,000 or something. But yeah, we could get over 5. So there's something we're looking forward to there. Keep a lookout. There's going to be pretty cool. The other thing is that we've only got less than 2 weeks to go, right, until the end of the month, and so we're expecting potentially Maven staking protocol to come out from Bitminer Mission. That could be a real uplift there. So BMNR potentially looking very good leading into the end of March if they stay on track with that Q1 type of launch. The other big thing that we had besides the digital asset treasuries is the SEC. I mean, we've just had so much that's happening, right? That's the title of the video. So much is happening, because so much is happening, guys. So much is happening there. And we could potentially be range bound for a little while, right? So range bound, at least until May. Like, in other words, we could have some night pumps in there, but we're going to have a lot of volatility is what I'm suggesting. The end of March, April could be quite good. May, of course, sell and go away kind of thing. But I think actually we're going to have a little bit of things different happening in May. I'm going to talk about that. But we got some pretty good news out today. I mean, this is big news. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission there issued an interpretation that clarifies when and how federal securities law govern crypto assets and related transactions. Now, remember Hex? Do you guys remember Hex? Do you know that one? Well, Hex and Richard Hart. Remember Richard Hart? And he did a couple of letters to analyze, get some lawyers to do some stuff before he launched Hex around the Howey test. Remember that? So around promises being made with something security, all that sort of stuff. Well, this is we got the clarity now. So here we are. We've got this awesome clarity here, issued an interpretation of when and how federal securities laws govern crypto assets and related transactions. So this is big news, guys, and it's funny, all the way from 2019 when Richard's, getting his legal opinions, and then of course having to actually end up battling the SEC for a good 2 years, and we conquered them last year, 7th of July, I think it was. It's now we've got it. Isn't that hilarious? I just want to reflect on that for a moment because it's pretty crazy. So we now have this clarity from the, no pun intended, we've got this clarity from the SEC. This is a big deal, right? So petition signaled its intent to apply Commodity Exchange Act in accordance with the SEC's interpretation and confirmation that crypto assets falling outside the definition of security referred to as non-security crypto assets may qualify as commodities subject to the CFTC oversight. So instead of the SEC, you got the CFTC oversight instead. So a bit of separation of securities to commodities, right? So there, the SEC interpretation aims to provide a coherent token taxonomy. Number 2, address how a non-security crypto asset may become subject to and how it may cease to be subject to an investment contract and thus subject to the federal securities law. Now, an investment contract being the fact that it has promises in it, it has rights and responsibilities, it typically would have benefits and costs into it, things like that, and of course, a right to review, claim, or some sort of process like that. Number 3, clarity. Clarify the application of the federal securities law to protocol mining, obviously protocol staking, the wrapping of non-security crypto assets, and airdrops. So all those particular activities also reviewed there and got some clarity. So pretty cool. So the background there, although the SEC has grappled with digital asset questions for over 10 years, this is why I bring up the old Hex and Richard Hart. Richard Hart was well ahead of this and was publicly talking about it, I think, more than anybody else. And so it had never offered official, holistic guidance tailored to the distinctive features of the crypto market. So we were left in this vague world. And of course, then when we got the Biden administration, they were attacking crypto because it was all about they didn't like freedom. They want freedom, people. They want to enslave people. So they didn't want any of that. So they were attacking crypto. Instead, the commission leaned heavily on the investment contract framework articulated by the U.S. Supreme Court versus Howey. And of course, we could talk about the Howey test as a principal tool for assessing whether digital tokens and associated transactions triggered securities law obligations. But before 2025, the SEC had not crafted a purpose-built regulatory regime for digital assets and instead carried out numerous enforcement proceedings, a strategy that has drawn criticism, including from commissioners, as regulation by enforcement. It was pretty brutal too. Now, funny enough, all those essentially have been dropped since we got the White House and the new SEC chair, all that sort of stuff, all those court cases have been settled and moved on. Of course, Richard Hart won, right? So he didn't even have to have any of that being dropped, but that was probably the likely outcome, that they were just being dropped anyway, but that they actually won. So Richard actually won. So pretty special, I would say unique in the crypto space on that front. Responding to those criticism and drawing on public feedback gathered by the SEC's crypto task force, the SEC released this interpretive guidance to accompany ongoing congressional work on comprehensive digital asset market structure legislation and bring predictability to the space. And of course, that legislation is essentially the main one. There's other pieces, but the main one is the Clarity Act, and we're going to talk about an update on that now. So let's just break down quickly these token taxonomies. So perhaps the most consequential element of the release is a new classification system for digital tokens. The SEC characterized crypto assets based on their characteristics, uses, and functions, then evaluated each category against the statutory meaning of security. So we finally got it, guys, after all these years. And I'm sure Richard's read this and laughed himself silly in the last 24 hours or so. So digital commodities, not securities. And we've got crypto assets whose value stems principally from automated mechanics of a functional blockchain network and from ordinary market supply and demand forces rather than from expected profits and reliance on management's entrepreneurial efforts. Number 2 is digital collectibles, and this is probably the most controversial grey area is digital collectibles, because you can do so many different features on these things, right? Not securities is in brackets there, so explicitly not securities. Crypto assets intended primarily for collection or personal enjoyment, such as digital artwork, music, video clips, trading cards, in-game items, or tokenized representations of memes, characters, and cultural moments. Now, we know there's quite a few AI companies operating in this space, so Data Vault is one of those, right? And recently they did some big jumps in revenue. I think they got their meeting. I think their returns meeting looks like they've jumped from about $3 million to about $40 million in the space, and they're doing I think sports and entertainment cards on ID, and that's going to be just part of their business. So that's pretty big. Digital tools, not securities. Crypto assets that serve a utilitarian purpose, functioning as memberships, event tickets, credentials, title instruments, or identity badges. Number 4 is payment stablecoins, obviously massive, right? We had the Genius Act. Stablecoins issued by a permitted payment stablecoin issuer. Obviously, we've got Circle and Tether and many others now in the space. In accordance with the Genius Act and covered stablecoins, specifically those described in the SEC's staff statement on stablecoins, the 4th of April 25, for certain stablecoins issued before the Genius Act becomes effective. Now, remember that's supposed to be becoming effective, the Genius Act, in January next year. Regulations out probably by July this year, right? So that's kind of the time frame for that. Finally, number 5, digital securities, traditional financial instruments enumerated in the definition of securities and securities law that is simply repackaged as a crypto asset with ownership records maintained through a crypto network will be treated as securities. So digital securities, tokenized securities, that is under the auspices of the SEC. These other 4 categories are going to be essentially, I guess, under the CFTC there. So that's kind of clarity, and we're going to get this locked in essentially in the Genius Act, right? So that is kind of the play. So that's quickly update there. I'll post a link to that this article. There's a lot more in it, of course, around analysis, etc. If you want to read that, you can. I just wanted to go through that key stuff because I think that was pretty important around the SEC, the clarity there, the CFTC, what's security, what's commodity, and also what this is leading into the Clarity Act. We've also got the hilarious comparison to Hex and of course the drama there in the Howey test and Richard's legal opinions way back from 2019, maybe even it was late 2018 possibly you got those, but that was around that time. Yeah, pretty awesome. So that is the link there. Now, have we got a few more comments in the chat? I think we have. Doing my best to get to those. So that is pretty much it. Now, I do have one more topic. So we're going to talk about that before we get into Pulse Chain. But we'll get into the comments first. I've got a couple here. Let's see here. We got Fat Sammy. Hi all. Good to see you, Fat Sammy. Welcome. What else we got there? We got Frank White. Pulse Chain season is coming. We're going to talk a little bit about that, Frank, actually. Sean, up only. Good to see you, Sean. Sean is everywhere with up only. And, of course, 369 in our season are also apparently on the trend. Big shout out to Sean. Diamond Hands says, keep up the good work, man. Pump my bags there. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm a market maker or mover, but certainly we've been covering this pretty faithfully most of the time, except for my earlier break there. Now, the final big piece, of course, is Clarity. Woohoo! Clarity, we're waiting for that, guys. Now, we have had some progress. It looks like it keeps stalling, like it was supposed to pass in August, remember that, then February. And the good news for you guys is that it's giving you more time to accumulate good quality crypto. And I think you've still got at least a month to three. But we did hear news today that it looks like by next week that there will be, or maybe even this week, there will be a draft coming out of the Banking Committee of the Senate. And remember, there's been this battle between bank yields. Banks want to protect their yields because they're all, fat cats and authoritarian. We know banks are terrible. And of course, they don't want DeFi to eat their lunch, right? They don't want DeFi to eat their lunch. And so we've had this battle, but it does look like we're going to get something out of the banking committee and out of the Senate, and so that's positive. At least a first draft there, and that could end up going with high percentage there to in April to for possible voting. And of course, I think the latest, so that's April, we're kind of targeting now, with the latest date being May. I think May the 21st could be the backstop moment there. So, this is a big deal. This Clarity Act, that's around regulation, around the SEC's, CFTC, security commodities, so all just really putting it once and for all a formal regulatory structure rather than just interpretation that we just talked about with the SEC and declaration, which is important, but we really want to get that into law in a more structured way, and that's what we're looking forward to there around the regulatory. And that would mean that even those institutions and corporates, etc., that are holding back will end up just flooding into crypto. It's basically, now that it's fully regulated in every single way, then everyone runs in, right? Everyone runs into crypto. But we're seeing that adoption anyway, right? It just means that there's nothing really stopping it anymore. Now, looking at that, we have seen some reports out recently that about 29% by the end of the year of corporates will have, at least institutions will have some sort of investment in crypto, possibly up to 5%. So that's some interesting developments there too. We really are just before the floodgates are opening, guys. We do need to get the Clarity Act in before midterms, because obviously, which is in, I think, November, because of the crazy Democrats, right? These crazy Democrats. So we need to do that. All right, so that we can, the United States will lead the financial transformation of the monetary system as they've been shifting the trade system around, but also the innovation that comes with that. And it's going to be super exciting. And of course, here in crypto, we're at the frontier of all that, right? We're at the frontier of all that opportunity, and therefore a massive amount of liquidity can come in. So what else have we got? Wrecked on Crypto, hello. All good to see everybody. Good to see you, Wrecked on Crypto. Frank Weiss said something crazy amazing is coming for PulseChain. It's actually overwhelming and awesome. I'll let you know as soon as I can. Oh, that'd be great, Frank. Appreciate that. We like the little teaser, alpha teaser there. Wrecked on Crypto, welcome. Yeah. Well, this is the question, just thinking about that before we get into PulseChain is, are we going to get some big project on PulseChain that's really big? We're getting big DeFi projects. So obviously we've got, we've talked about PRVX from Richard Hart. We've got, LibertyX pushing the frontier of privacy, intent trading, in a massive way. I mean, they're building out quite a massive ecosystem. I call it the Kraken of PulseChain. We've got other project teams doing some really innovative things like the Vault 369, taking liquidity to multi-chain, multi-collateral. I think possibly CoinWell is doing something on that similar front. We've got really some innovations there. We've got Jacob innovating on DeFi, doing from Mafia Game through to on-chain bet through to PUSD ALGO, and that's in the stablecoin space. That'd be pretty interesting. Apparently, they're doing some modifications towards the Genius Act, so we don't know what that means, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see. And are we going to get something big? So, there's lots of innovative projects on PulseChain. Are we going to get some big ones that are required to respond to a regulator? Are we going to get something like that? We need some key players there. The biggest players that we know of are, Rack and Rochelle on PulseChain, Richard Hart on PulseChain. We've got a few opportunities there. Sun Minimi was going to be potentially one, but we'll see. They're going to Solana apparently. Well, at some stage. Here we are in March, and they're still here. But anyway, all right. So that is it for that. Let's jump into the PulseChain and see what PulseChain looks like with the results. So we're going to kick into there. Don't forget to repost the show if you're on X. Smash the repost. I wish the share button on YouTube is there, but I'm not sure how useful that is compared to X. X is just basically instant people see it. But here we are on PulseChain. Let's do a refresh of GoPulse here. So we're on day 1042. Can you believe it? And we got Pulse at the moment at 5 zeros again. 928. So we have really struggled on PulseChain. We've had one hit or another. It's either a war or Richard Hart's PRVX, something like that. There's all these different things that have really struggled to get PulseChain over. We've either had some Hex Whale or some PulseX whale or some sacrifice whale, whatever, and when I say whale, just a large holder, just to sell stuff. We really had to struggle. It's just losing this zero has been just been an absolute a battle of the ages. So surely once we do defeat the 401, we will be on the are we going to be on the mega upchain after that? Surely the pulse chain deserves it, I would say, but nothing is given. It's all hard earned. But here we are. We got 50928 right now, just down less than 1% down, but still struggling here at the moment. So you can pick up a lot of pulse, obviously, at this price. Is pretty crazy, right? So PulseX there at 5077 down is actually up 2.5%, so it's nice to see PulseX. And we got the buy and burn here at 1.71 trillion. Now, the one thing I will say is that the market caps here on GoPulse, which are probably more accurate than the market caps on Deck Screener, which have these billion-dollar valuations. So interesting differences there. We got Ink Token at the moment is at 42 cents, down 1.6% right now. And it's we got Hex on Pulse Chain, or P-Hex as we call it, is at 1600th of a penny, just below 17. That's down 4.7%. That's been really volatile. It's been up at 2300, been down below 15 is it? It's been moving around quite a bit. E-Hex though, man, E-Hex has really been getting the bash, really getting the smash. It is down at 00059. You can pick up so much E-Hex right now. E-Hex is the OG. It's the original Hex. It's the one that did one of the 4 or 5 coins in 2021 bull market, did a 10,000 Hex. But now it's become like the to some degree it's up. It was up against P-Hex, but we'd have to look at the chart now because it's actually down quite a bit there. But it has been performing pretty well for the last 2 months. But it has kind of become like the ugly duckling or something. It's but actually, is it a lot better than that? We'll see. Now, the one thing we have, of course, is everything will rise with Pulse, and if we get a rise, everything's going to be cool. That's on Ethereum, of course, and it could rise with ETH, right? And of course, follow PHEX up as well. So we've got a lot of different things could happen there, and we probably expect a certain probability of that. But yeah, it's just pretty crazy. We obviously got Hexflex coming from Dipcatcher. He's waiting for the market to turn, I guess, to the upside. So it does have some protocol support as well as third-party stuff. But yeah, we're going to keep a lookout for that. That is pretty interesting. Very thin liquidity on those too, so easy to move the Hex. And that's been the advantage there. But of course, we've got the latest shiny thing, which is PRVX out. And is that the one that Richard wants to get the glory from? Now, I do think, of course, PRVX is not really Pulse Chain, right? So PRVX is this cross-chain technology, and of course designed to disintermediate the centralized exchanges, etc. And we have to wait to see what adoption is going to be like. We're just not even anything, right? We know Pulse Chain's got adoption. We know PulseX has got adoption. We know Hex has got adoption. We know they've got reasonably large communities on them, and very well organized communities, I would say, generally. Not that they collude together. They would be better off if they did. But they do their own things, yeah, PRVX has still got to prove itself, right? Mr. PRVX still got a lot of work to be done. So yeah, and we know there will be some fast adopters like Liberty Swap, etc. But there's still a lot to be done there. So at the moment we're on a speculative bound, and Pulse Chain is got the I would say the intrinsic value there as well. So this is kind of where we are on the market right now. Let's go to the gas prices. We're back down. Well, we're actually even lower than we were. We were sitting around 900,000. Then we had some spikes yesterday, 2-3 million beats of what I saw. We're back down at 600,000 beats, which is 0.2 of a penny. So we're even cheaper than normal, which is great. 52,600 validators. It's pretty normal. It's what we've had the last couple of probably the last week or something. We've got the bridge value at the moment is at 70.5, so we're down about $1 million on the old bridge, but of course we've got ETH and Bitcoin have pulled back, so it's kind of the mark there on the old Pulse Chain. Let's jump to Pulse chart though, and this is the daily chart on Rat Pulse. We can see the 21-day moving average. We're below that, which is never great, right? Never great to be below the 21-day moving average. We had a big spike down yesterday. Oh boy, the volatility we got down pretty low. Down to what do we get to there? Low. We got to apparently we had some spike on this particular pair. I'm not sure what the volume on this one is actually. Is this the main one? Yeah, it is. So apparently we had some spike down to 7,778, which is back to the all-time low, even slightly lower than the all-time low, which is crazy. The all-time low was back here on the 23rd, so we've got a new all-time low based on this chart. I actually didn't see this, I only just saw it now, but we're down at 7776, so we actually got a new all-time low, which is 2 days ago, and now we're sitting at 92.43. So the moving average too has gone just below 401. We're now at 509947 on the 21, so we're going to get back over there. Funny enough, when I'm talking about the 21 moving average, we've got Brennan coming in. Howdy, Super. And Brennan is our TA guru in the Discord, but he's busy there looking after a little baby, which is kind of cool. Must be getting a little bit bigger, baby. Every week your baby gets a bit bigger, doesn't it? Unless it's infinitely small young baby, maybe something like that. Anyway, we got a little bit of work to do there. Let us know your thoughts, Brennan, on the TA chart if you've got any time. But that is the mark right now, and to get back up to the 21 moving average was about an 8% gain there. All right, so we're back down. We've been pushed back down again. Of course, PRVX playing a role, and then we got hit by the markets coming down too. So we had a double hit on the old pulse chart from PRVX, and the FOMO into PRVX yesterday was particularly brutal. So it was particularly momentum there. Brennan says growing too fast, Super, the baby, yeah. From the little cute little tiny little baby to a slightly bigger baby. I don't know, talking about babies is kind of funny. It makes me laugh. Big round babies, small little babies. I don't know, we're getting crazy here on the show. Well, we got that is the daily one there. We got the RSI down at 43, so we've got plenty of room to move up if we want to. 4 hourly, given the short-term view, we're down at 41 there. So we've got some chance for an upside for sure. Things have quite died down. The weekly, we're way down at the bottom here at 31. So when we do move, it's going to be quite glorious, I think, on pulse to the upside. So just a bit more patience there. Like I say, March, April, May, still kind of the waiting to get that Genius Act really, the Clarity Act really into play. All right, and hopefully the Iranian problem has been solved there. So that's pulse right now. Let's go to the overall markets. Well, we've got the ZKP. This has been performing like a boss. It's up 109%, and congratulations to those that got into it. It's probably going to be quite a performer, as my guess. Obviously, there'll be some profit taking at some stage. Start off pretty small, but PRVX FOMO has helped FOMO into this project too. And I think, is it Cabal King and Kairos, something like that. Let me know in the chat if I got that wrong, but I think that's right. And we've got the volume there, 34,000. So obviously got a reflection tax of about 5%. So you're earning PRVX on this. You buy ZKP, stake it, and you earn PRVX. And I believe it's I think Kairos is the one that set this up. So yeah, we got ratio to pulse 33. The chart, of course, it looks pretty amazing. Let's have a look at the pulse ratio. That's pretty awesome. It actually has been higher. And we saw that yesterday. It was higher, up at 39 point, basically 40. It's at 33 right now. So this is going pretty well. On that one. And of course, PRVX. If PRVX is going to do some, big kind of hex parabola thing, then it could be on the way up and away, right? So that is ZKP. We also got True Farm making a bit of a comeback here, up 12% as the second best performer. So a big shout out to the True DeFi team if you want to earn 2x in pulse through their miner, and of course they feed some of that with the profits from the True Farm. That's the place to go. So big shout out to them. Frank White said, yeah, Kairos made it, doing great. Yeah, doing really great. I'm sure he's going to be happy with that. So yeah, we got Source on Minu. I told you Source is supposed to be going to Solana. This is a shame, really, because they must have tens of millions of dollars in that buy and burn. They're not even using it, right? For goodness sake, they're not even using it. So they must have. I don't know why they're delayed so far, but it is what it is. Up 8.7%. Staked ETH, the big one there, copied over from Ethereum. That is up 7.4%. For Investor, $1.73, been moving around quite wildly. It's up 5.3% today. And then we start to get into PRVX itself. So PRVX is still maintaining itself, still green, up 4.8%. We've got PulseX up 3% there in the mix there as well. And then we've got a whole ton of PRVX peers all the way from 10 to 13. and they're up only about 2.5%, slightly different liquidity setups. ARC there is at number 14, and then we got PRVX again, 15 and 16. So PRVX, along with PulseX here, is looking pretty dominant. But let's have a look at the big pair. There's the we've got a big pulse pair now, so we've actually got liquidity changes, right? So remember that Richard launched with stablecoins. USDC was the big one at $1 million, and then wrapped ETH as well. Well, now we have big pulse pairs, and it's tied in with that. So from the looks of it. Sorry, that was looking at the wrong one. That's PulseX. But we do have pulse pairs now popping up, 29,000. What else is in here? 49. And then we've still got our big stable pairs here. So the big one is USDC. It's at 1.2 mil. Remember, that was about $1 million when we were talking about it. And so it's had a lot of capital. Where did the price peak out, right? So let's have a look at that. We had the price peak. This is the hourly chart. We had the price peak out at 0.001385. And we kind of had the top of the range targets at about 15.5, 16.5. As didn't quite get there. That was on a 1.86 Fibonacci. Now, obviously, the Fibonacci is going to change as you go up, but that was kind of what we had, and it got up to 13.85. So pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing on that. Now, let's have a look at the best sacrifice price. Apparently, is 3,200 for the PRVX pool that Buckamentals run. So they got the multiplier bonus, right? This top yellow, so that's the bottom yellow line, best price. And then, so everything is cream, it's green, green. This yellow line is the base price, 0001, and so that's kind of where we're above that. So it's performing very well, isn't it? Performing very well, and a lot of sacrifices have not taken profits relative to the price. It's gone up, so yeah, pretty good. What else? So that's pretty cool. I think Pulse Chain Stats has now added PRVX to the Richard Hart cause list. So you can find data on there too. But this is what I thought was kind of fair value based on the GoPulse numbers, the market cap. It was these two yellow lines. It's obviously well above that. But here is momentum, right? Momentum versus, what may be fundamental, right? Fundamental, because really has no real adoption. Pulse has adoption. PulseX has adoption. PulseX has adoption. Hex has adoption. This is just speculation. I mean, we got a beta version out. But we just don't know what's going to happen with it, right? So we've got speculation. We've got a market maker came in. Funnily enough, when that market maker came in with this volume, Richard happened to post at the same time, right? Richard happened to post at the same time, and he said when everyone plans to buy the dip and there's no dip, and of course remember that he posted that when we were at 7,200 or 7,200. Was way back when we just started the time, and so the timing of the X post, the timing of the pump, all comes in at 7,200. Now, I know on X Spaces they were sort of saying it was just people coming in, but this is all aligned at the same time that Richard posts. And then underneath this post, he puts this post saying, by the way, I love the idea of buying dips. And he put I on there. Normally he never does that. I love the idea because when people sell wicks up, they often just disappear and talk smack anyway. So the monotonous pressure of dip buying seems much more wholesome. Let the holders get better deals, not the sellers. So it's a kind of a declaration if you ask me. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So that was from Richard. I don't think we've had any other updates from Richard apart from a few other. Well, we did have a few other updates, but nothing. We had these ones here about the charts. That was on the 18th. By the time that he posted that, it was up at 9,600. And then he posted one here. It was at 1150. But of course, we went higher than that. As I said, we went up to 13, didn't we? We went up to 13 now. Let me just refresh this to see if we've got anything else from Richards. And so on. So that was pretty much on the 18th. So yeah, we're how old is this now? It's 4 days ago. So 4 days. We're 4 days. And I guess we're starting. Are we starting day 5? I think we might be. I think we might be starting day 5. So that is the chart right now at 1189. Still looking very good. Are we rolling over though? Right? Are we rolling over? Remember we had this rollover back here. Remember at the beginning. This is the hourly chart though. Obviously we're starting to roll over here. Obviously if we get down below 1,000, I think we're pretty much cooked for a rollover there. Because remember, just the way we go up in FOMO. We also go down on FOMO, right? Because as someone starts selling, it breaks certain key levels. then other people go, oh man, I want to make sure I get my X, and then 4X, and then someone else says, oh, and it goes down further, and they go, I'll get my 3.5X, and it goes down, and then you might have limit orders and all sorts of stuff triggering as well. It is pretty crazy. So that is some interesting stuff. Now, at the moment, if we go to the best price, which is 3,200 apparently, for the PRVX thing, fundamentals were still up 271%, which is a 3.7x. 3.7x there, so it's still well in the money, and of course pretty everyone's in the money now. Everyone is, because we've got the base price at 1. So if you had no multiplier, I think it's about this one, 0001. So you're still in the money as well. You're still, how much money are you in the money? Let's have a look. You're in the money about 20%. 20%. Oh, how the world turns. So apparently there's some big changes there. All right, what else? We've got some more comments. Chill says ZKP could be the next X. Producing PRVX at a nice rate, says Chills. Yeah, we just looked at that chart earlier from Kairos. Yeah, Kairos made that. The ZKP is buy it and you stake it and you earn PRVX from the trading volume as 5% tax. It gets some EMA bands for PRVX Super. EMA bands for the PRVX, yeah. You want me to put the 21 on? I'll put the 21. We're only on the hourly chart though, man. I mean, I put the 4 hour, I guess. EMA. Put the 21. I just had the 21 on because I know it's your favorite. I know it's your favorite. So let's go to 21. Let's manually type it because I don't know. I just like doing that. 21 there. It's you guys know my favorite color for that is this one here, turquoise. Is it? We're going to double up that. So yeah, we're just above it. So very good timing there. See, that's why Brennan's the Tier Guru. Let's have a look at that. So we're just above the 21, so that's pretty positive. But we're still rolling over a little bit there. But positive at the moment. Certainly, if we break down at 21, that's going to be a bad sign. And if we break down past 1060, but really 1,000, back down here, and we're down. I don't know what happened to that. Was that straight? Yeah, it's 1,000. That'd be a pretty bad sign. Now, the market maker came in, so is the market maker going to do some parabolics? Let it come back, go up, let it go, come back and go up and go back, and people back in their Richard Hart there, and the market makers there kicking in. So keep a look out for that. Now, Buckamentals, of course, who got a lot of free coins from providing the service, he's indicating he's kind of in it for the long game, based on the last comment I saw. And so, he doesn't want just maybe a couple 100,000. He's looking at the millions, right? Just hold on. And so it could be a major play there. Oh, how the world turns there. So that is PRVX right now. And, of course, everyone's going to be pretty happy. They're pretty happy. Now, of course, happy if you've got PRVX, not happy if you're holding Richard Hart cores. And, of course, remember, Richard Hart cores already have adoption. They're already fundamental. And so, they're still... the key functionalities there, and of course PulseX there getting a bit of love. So let's see what happens in the next couple of days. Of course, the argument would be Richard wants a glory coin, and of course that would attract capital. Have we seen a lot of capital attract so far? I'm not sure if we have. We've seen a little bit. A Liberty Swap indicated that maybe 100K had been coming over through Liberty Swap itself. So that does indication we are getting capital from other chains. And of course you want to start getting that attraction. So is this going to be a really mega parabolic cycle with the old PRVX? What will that mean for the rest of this? Well, obviously we got a lot of new capital. It's got to come through Pulse, but we'll see what happens there. Now, what was I going? I was going to have a look at Pulse alerts, not Liberty Swap. We're going to look at Liberty Swap, but let's go to Pulse alerts and see what sort of big stuff was happening on the old Pulse. Why have I got Pulse alerts? Pulse alerts. Pulse alerts there. All right. That's what happens when you're thinking and you're thinking and doing different things at the time. All right, so we had another positive flow, right? So yesterday we had a positive flow. We got another positive flow through the 14 days, so we're 266K. So we have had pretty positive bridge flows the last 2 days, even though ETH and Bitcoin are down. We saw that the values are down on the bridge overall $1 million, but actually the dollars coming in is positive. So that's been pretty good. Let's have a look here. We did, 7 hours ago, PRVX had moved up 99%. Yeah, so that FOMO was really causing a lot of downward pressure for everything else, just about, particularly the premier tokens. They were getting all rotated because people made profits in them, right? And so they rotate those profits into these other coins. Someone on the 18th there bought 478 million PRVX for 28 million hex. We talked about that yesterday. Thought that was pretty interesting. That turned out to be a good move, didn't it? It turned out to be a pretty good move. That was probably one of the better moves that we've seen at the time. I'm not sure what the prices were, but that's probably turned out to be pretty good. In fact, we can actually 478 million. We can actually, so if the hex was worth 44k, we'll put 478. Let's go to this pool. We'll put 478 million. Let's see what that's worth. 478. 1, 2, 3. What am I doing wrong there? I'm doing something wrong there. 478 million. Oh yeah, a couple more zeros. 57. So apparently it was 43.7, and now it's worth 57. So that's pretty good actually. So what is that? 43. Let's say 50. So what's that? 15,000. 15,000 bucks. In fact, it would have been even higher because I'm pretty sure they were in before here, so they would have got the top. That would have even been higher there. So that was a master move from this person, taking the risk, but what a move it was. So there we go. All right, so let's have a little look at the rest of the pulse chain. And we've talked about the leaders today, which obviously is ZKP there from Kairos, a big shout to him. True Farm, of course, is a Emmett Farm fork, and Emmett Farm is from Kairos too. And of course, that's from True DeFi, doing a great job there. And then we've got PRVX in the mix there. PulseX coming in not far behind, slightly green. We've only got 23 coins of green on the top 100 trending. And then we got a few others in there, peers, Top Hat, Gophers, Atropa, PGC, a little few of those trading peers. But let's have a look at some of the others there. Voucher's pretty flat, so they've kind of recovered there. PDC is only down 1.4%, so still holding up pretty well. PGC. Coin Mafia from Racker Michelle, 41 cents, and 9mm at 4/10 of a penny as well, pretty flat there as well. So some of the leading projects. Doubt Token has done pretty well on the ratio, not holding up pretty well, only down 2.5% on the price. Remember, Pulse Chain was down about 1%. So anything below 1% or so, which would be, I guess, 70 coins are not as good as Pulse at the moment. What else there? We got all these other ones. All the PCock ones are down. Teddy Bear from James Maria down 5%, 6%. Hex down 6%, almost 7%. PCock down 7% there. Holding, what price are we holding at the moment? Holding at 1.3 cents. So is that the end? Is that the end? We did see some big volume coming in. Look at that, another rotator there, because they're probably still up. So a lot of people made a lot of crypto on the old PCock. So if they got in at half this price, which is then if they got in at 700 pulse, 800 pulse, they've got 1430 on the ratio. So if you're wondering why top tier protocols get rotated, it's because they're profitable and people don't have much. They obviously didn't win on too many other projects, and so they go into PRVX with it. It's maybe what's happening there. Brennan says you could put the 50 in as well as the next level support if you wanted. Yeah, okay, 50 would be a good reset level before the next leg higher for hourly, and would give a chance for the RSI to cool off too. Okay, right, I'll add that in the old PRVX. I'll come back and do that. So that is the PCock right now. So holding up. Let's have a look at the hourly chart, the daily chart here for PCock. Obviously we're down at 35, 13 here, and we're not quite oversold even on the daily, but on the 4 hour we've definitely been chumming along near the bottom, not quite the bottom. So waiting for some support there. What have we got on this? The 34. Let's add in the 50 as well. EMA. And we're adding the 50 on this. Where's the EMA gone? This one here. What I do yellow for the 50. And we'll add in the 50 here. I'm not going to manually type it up, but there we go. That's the 50 right now. So we're below all that on the daily. Let's have a look at the weekly here. I'll get rid of the overlays. And so you're below. Oh, we've got the 34 day here. The 34 is at 1200. So that might give us a bit of support. So that is where we are right now on PCock. So is it the bottom for that? Possibly. We'll see. Certainly, this is one of the heavyweight protocols. So let's have a look at the. We're going to come back to PRVX and add those 50 moving averages. But let's see what Liberty Swap has got going on right now. because they have some pretty big upgrades coming, and they also have the wallet coming, right? So, and this stuff is tangible, right? This stuff's not just speculation about where the price is going in the future. Obviously, the whole thing about PRVX is really backed on potentially the sacrifice money, what Richard might do. So that is the big bullishness, and fair enough. We know if that does come to actuality, like we've already seen yesterday, then yeah, it's going to moon. All right, so what else? We've got 19 hours ago here. Let me jump through some of these. Strong coins will survive. We'll keep adding more PCock on any dips, diversifying PCock's LPs and strengthening the community. So you got a lot of buying support there from LuiSwap. Liberty Shield is getting so much stronger. What else we got there? Railgun enables users to split or combine contractions from private balances, allowing multiple actions. Yeah, pretty exciting that. Those transactions use zero knowledge proofs to shield transactions. So we've already got a lot of this technology coming in with Liberty Swap. It's actually at market making money. Liberty Swap there. In the near future, we can earn yield and manage our DeFi LPs privately using Railgun, private DeFi trading, private trading, and trading transfers on Pulse Chain are game changers the ecosystem. Yeah. So the other things that we're expecting is also PCock staking. We're expecting the ZKP hybrid wallet from Liberty Swap, and of course airdrop with ZK. I think it's ZKX token airdrop. So many bullish things coming up for Liberty Swap in the near future, within weeks, within the next few weeks. So pretty exciting about that. So yeah, and all these technology upgrades are fantastic. What bridge to use? Liberty Swap is the best. That's from Crypto Coffee 8 hours ago, guys. Getting the biggest influencer support. We currently have 99% of PCock wrap teeth. They currently, I guess they control that. Currently hold, basically close to 100% of the PCock LP wrap teeth ETH pool. 7 hours ago, Liberty Shield has connected all Railgun balances across different blockchains, bringing Railgun technology to new blockchains. One anonymity set to protect the privacy of the entire crypto ecosystem there. So not only is this technology coming to Pulse Chain, but going to other chains as well. So really cool there. Let's try it this way and see how it works. 1 ETH, buying some more PCock. Try to add 4 to 5 ETH per day and see how it works for PCock. Nice there. What is PRVX? It was PRVX there. We've got a nice little setup there from Alpha Baller. This is cool, completely solving most of the problems with MEV bot attacks. A nice little diagram there, so you can check that out. What else we got going there? 2 hours ago, volume of Liberty Swap, Liberty Shield, and Liberty X are all increasing. More fees, more sweet. PCock to $10. So continuing on up the year. Like I say, this for me, the Liberty Swap is the Kraken of Pulse Chain, really, because they're building it out. They've got lots of customers, and I think it's just expanding. So I'm really excited to see the next steps here. And obviously, limit orders I think are coming. They've got other upgrades coming, and for Liberty X Swap and Shield, I think, and limit orders coming. They've also got I think TWAP pricing, and they've got the big one. Next big modular launch would be the ZKX wallet, which is going to public testnet at the end of March, I believe. So we could see April potentially being the launch of that, and the airdrop as well. And we don't know the exact numbers, but probably the bulk of it going to the PCock holders. So more bullishness there. The other side of it I've been looking forward to, and maybe there's something you're doing later on, is the staking and the meme coin. So they've got quite a few things that come in. I mean, it's going to be a massive ecosystem on this chain. And the funny part about it is a lot of it seems like big parts of Richard Hart's vision. So you can decide what you think. Is this whether it's another quasi project? But the way the guy talks, maybe it's not. We'll see. But that is Liberty Swap right now. So keep a lookout for that. Now let's pump back into PRVX here, because we're going to add in these moving averages, the 50 moving average that you haven't got, and let's add that in. So we're going to go to 50 EMA again, and we're going to add in the 50-day. So let me do that. 50. You guys know I love yellow. We're going to do yellow 50, orange for 100, orange for 200, yellow for 50, and bam, we got that going. All right, cool. All right, so that is it. So yeah, bounce back would be 1050. So yeah, that's pretty much what I said with the other mark too. There, Brennan. This is the hourly. Let's go 4 hourly though. 4 hourly would set that at 9300, which is probably not bad either. We're going to break 1000. So 93 100 might be, so 409300 might be the bounce back if we do get a rollover capitulation, and then maybe another parabolic, right? We're just going to parabolic us all the way. We got a drawing tool. No, we got a drawing tool there. Where's the drawing tool? I don't know if we've got a path. Yeah, we'll try the path here. So I don't know. Maybe it's going to go, you know, blah blah blah, and then it keeps going back up, and it does it, rinses and repeats. I don't know how to get rid of that damn arrow. All right. Okay. Let's move on. I don't play around with those tools that much. This is probably it. What else? I think that's it on that one. So pretty interesting. We got Dewey Scum in the house there. Yo, what up all? Good to see you, Dewey. It's been a while actually. Seen you in the chat. Dewey says, oh yeah, I haven't got the RSI in there, have I? So let me push the RSI on as well. I should have the RSI on, my bad. RSI is like the minimum, yeah. So the RSI was overheated. Look at that. So that was a very telling thing with the RSI there on the 4 hourly, and we're back up. So we're still kind of overheated here. So yeah, need a bit of a cool off there, at least if it stays stagnant. But people are in the money. A lot of people are in the money there. What do you say, 3.7x or something? It's good to be a Pulse guy. Yeah, well, Pulse guy there tied into the PCock too. So Pulse guy doing a great job. One of the trifectas. All right, so yeah, we added the RSI in there. So we'll get the ticker. We'll probably get an award from Brennan around the RSI adding and that 50 as well. Yes, indeed. Nice to catch you when I can. Hope all is well. Yeah, all is well, I think, Midori. We're having fun here on the crypto markets. Now, what I was going to say was, if you guys haven't joined Strategy Club, honestly, join up today. The link's on the QR code just below me. You can also find it in the video description on YouTube. Also pinned to the top of X, you'll find the link to join Strategy Club. Just over $1 a day, and you get all the intel. I post so much stuff in there. You will really be on the frontier of all the stuff that's happening in crypto that really matters. So get in there, folks. We're doing Bitcoin with the digital treasuries, Ethereum digital treasuries, the monetary system takeover. We're doing Pulse Chain, obviously. We're doing going to be doing X1 and Solana. So we're going to have the SVM chains as well. And look, those are going to be very key to winning going forward. So very nice, as Brendan says, very nice indeed. So we'll see you in Strategy Club. Join up today. It's a private club in Discord. General Discord membership is $12.50 a month, so you can also join up to that as well if you don't want to join Strategy Club. But Strategy Club is the place to be. All right, so that is kind of cool. There we go. Yeah, so we're above what I think is fair value here, which is this market cap here between 60. So if we look at market cap, I got the market cap between. Oh, let me go to daily here. No, let me go to 4 hourly. Where's my charts gone? Let's go. Oh, hourly. Let's go back to hourly then. So on market cap, 75 to 60. It's kind of where I had it relative to the market cap showing up on GoPulse. Not the deck screen of market caps, but at the moment we've got 150 million market cap right now. And so yeah, and if we go back to GoPulse, pick up the market caps here. I'm not sure what adjustments they've made here, but just taking the market cap, we've got 139 million for Pulse. And so, it's 150 there. I don't know how they got to this number, so we might have to double check the market caps, but we've got 136 for PulseX. So that's indicating it's above all those. So, market caps are kind of an annoying number, but, it is pretty interesting here. 176 for X. X still the biggest there. So I might have to go through the market cap and manually calculate them just to make sure which one's the right one. Because a good X screen's got ones in the billions. So yeah. Dewey Scum says PRVX looking very interesting. 150 million market cap, 37 million roughly the market cap. We got looking like we may stay ripping for a ways. Yeah, I agree there, Dewey. Yeah, still expecting PRVX still particularly in the honeymoon phase, and it depends, if Richard really going to make this the glory play, then your parabolic cycles are expected, right? Yeah, 13 doubles coming in. Yeah, that's the play. So if Richard, so far he indicated that, right? I mean, posting an email, a text, not a text, what are you calling it? X post is very significant. That X post right here, we often speculate on Richard doing this to maybe a hex or something, but here is it definitely was coincided with the move on this chart. So Yeah, and of course the key would be really, does it attract capital, new capital into the chain? Because that otherwise you just got one more token that's attracting all the capital from other tokens, and it just vampires the whole everything else. So everyone gets wrecked, even all the long-term holders, all the diamond hands, all the believers. If they're not on PRVX, they get wrecked, right? So that is the play right now. So eventually you get some recycling, but in this period of time, it's pretty brutal. Now the other thing is, does it attract a lot of net capital? And that's the hope, right? That you have this big green candle with this new technology, and it brings in new money, right? So that's the key there. Yeah, Badui Scum says, bring in this new money, let them spend some ETH and stables on the shiny ETH memes. Yeah, new capital is a must for it to succeed. Yeah, so obviously he put about 10% of the capital in. Obviously he's got all the sacrifice money from the from Prolstan and Proof. You know, there's lots of things he could do with this thing. And so yeah, it's going to be pretty insane to see where this all heads. Prove it hasn't even been activated yet. Still in beta, yeah. Still in beta, yeah. But that's why I'm saying, you know, it's all speculative value right now, and market maker pushing it up, which could continue to push it up. I mean, that's money is what pushes prices up, as long as you got more buys and sells, right? That's the key. And the other one there is signaling. Richard's been done a lot of signaling. A lot of the sacrifice people, you know, believe that positioning. Then it's game on. Buckamental's certainly positioning for that upside, right? So we shall see. Dewey says the liquidity rails aren't even popping yet. That will drive crypto Twitter attention, says Dewey. Yeah, good point. All right, so how are we doing for time? We're up to 1 hour and 20 minutes. Man, I'm way longer than I expected. We've got a big crowd watching, so a big shout out. Appreciate everyone watching right now. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribe on YouTube. Takes a moment to do it. It costs you nothing. And of course, if you're on X, smash the follow. Go up to the top, smash the follow there, and join up to date as well. So the follow button is at the top here somewhere. I'm not following myself, but you can hit the follow. We've got the Strategy Club link there in the QR code. Just over $1 to join up. Also pinned to the top of X there. Just hit that. You go through the Whoop store. You can sign up, and then you'll be given a link to join up to the Strategy Club, and you get all the benefits of all the rest of the Discord as well. So a couple options there as well. So kind of cool. We also have a crypto course in the Whoop store. Pretty comprehensive course in there, and a few other offerings as well. So you can check those out too. See you all in Discord, says Brennan. Yeah, Discord. Brennan's one of our moderators and our TA guru. So a big shout out there. So we've got some pretty talented people on the Discord, and they're really nice people too. And that's probably the main thing, right? Really nice people on Discord. So if you're sick of the mob of Rome and crypto, you want to get some good people. There are great people in our Discord. So join up today. All right. We also got the only crypto helpline in the Discord too. We've got a crypto helpline, guys. Yeah, believe it. Hundreds of people have been helped in there. Hundreds. So pretty awesome. All right. So is that it? Is that what we're doing right now? I was thinking about going through the PRVX, seeing what people have said on PRVX. So we do that a little bit. Let's do that to wrap up. And PRVX. And let's see. PRVX is obviously the Richard Hart's latest coin, new technology, ish, and also, you know, just potentially could get pumped to all high rates, and hope maybe bring in new capital. We'll see. That would happen. It would happen, but we'll just see how the profiles look over time. So kind of cool. We had quite a few comments there. Crypto Solve has been pretty good with comments. We might Pulse Chain Stats have been making a lot of comments actually. In fact, 17 hours ago they just deployed their update, as I mentioned earlier, for PRVX. So they've now got their data on the Pulse Chain Stat site, so you can go check that out. They added leagues as well for PRVX. Kind of cool. So if you're in one of these leagues, what they got the leagues there? Let's have a look. Well, this is at the time they had it. So if you're Poseidon, 32 billion. Whale, 3.2 billion. Sharks, 0.1% would be 320 million. Dolphin, 1/10 of 1/10 of 1% or 100th of 1%. Would be 32 million. The squid, 1/1000th is it? 3.2 million. A turtle, 1/10,000th or something, 320,000 there. They've got the amount. So we got 11 whales, 1,122 sharks, 900 dolphins, 2,800 squids, and 2,800 turtles. So that's some interesting numbers, isn't it? Liquidity was about 2.7 million earlier. It's about the similar price we've got now, right? So it should be about right. Oh, it's just slightly below, isn't it? So 2.7 million liquidity, 11,300 holders. Remember, that started off at a 7,500, isn't it? So we've got about 11,300. That holder count's really important to the price going up too, and giving structural support because it's got more distribution. So that's pretty significant. So, you know, what are we in? Day 4, day 5. So maybe in a week we get up to 20,000. Yeah, it's going off pretty well. Could be off well. Maybe a couple of months from now we get up to 100,000. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We will possibly have diminishing returns there, but certainly a pretty good strong start there with the old hold account. Who else has jumped in? Tin Top says, what's up, Hexkins? Good to see you, Tin Top. Welcome. Dewey says, plenty of us working hard while others crash out. Pulse Guy's got some crazy apps in beta now. Yeah, Pulse Guy's doing some pretty cool. I should probably do more coverage of Pulse Guys, to be honest. Perpetuals, Trading Bot, and Terminal. I did look at the Trading Bot, and it's on Telegram, right? And Perpetuals, yep. So doing some open interests. I didn't realize they had Perpetuals on there, actually. The open interests, okay. We've got, what, 3 providers now doing that. And Terminal, I'm not sure what Terminal is. NFT Marketplace, Poly Market, so price predictions, and 5 NFTs all buy and burning. Yeah. Hey, look, they need to make a bigger deal with that. You should contact the Pulse guys and get them to contact MVS of the Monster Thread or myself. So hit them up. They should get themselves broader market promotion there. Definitely get in that, and that's what we do here at the Crypto Night Show. Help project teams to get the word out there. Pretty awesome. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out the Monster Thread, go check it out. Pulse Chain's #1 newsletter. 35 to 50,000 people read it every week. So definitely get on that. And when we're in a bull market, it's probably going to be in a couple 100,000. Not on the bot yet. Trading terminal like Axiom on Solana, says Dewey Scum. All right, cool. I think that's a great place to finish. What do you guys reckon? Let's go one more look at the old charts here. See what is top of the ZKP from Kairos there, performing like a boss. Stake ZKP, earn PRVX. True Farm, they're looking good. Solana, Source on Minimil, the European food specialist, doing well. PRVX up 4%, looking not too bad. Just chilling right now. So yeah, that is the place there. Dewey says, aye, thanks. I'll let them know. MVS is the man who's been in the spaces. Yeah, MVS is out there. MVS is the promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show, Dewey Scum. Also the editor-in-chief of the Monster Thread, which is a pretty cool role. He does a great job. And, of course, it's a publication of the Crypto Night Show, is the Monster Thread. So we're also considering doing another publication soon. We're just trying to do, we've had a couple of versions. We're just trying to get the right one to market. So there we go. It's coming soon. All right. What else can we say? Is that it? I think that's it. I think so. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. Onwards and upwards. Yeah, we talked about Bitcoin. We talked about Ethereum. We talked about Pulse Chain. The markets, all the variables in the market right now are very volatile space. But like I say, I think once we get through to May, we get that Clarity Act, it's game on, right, for the second half of the year. The only thing that will be a bit of volatility, possibly from what we can see, is the midterms in November. But actually, I think, maybe it's some of the polls are suggesting it's not going to be too bad, I think. Joey says, Monster Thread is way strong. Great to hear. GI with the next publication. I appreciate that. All right, an hour and 28 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We've got a huge crowd watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell on YouTube. Don't forget to follow on X. And, of course, join up Strategy Club. QR codes there in the video. And you click through the Whoop store and join up. We'll see you there. Until next time, I'll either do a show later on today or probably my normal show tomorrow. And I'll catch you then. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.